Zoe Ball, 51, addressed BBC star Steve Wright's recent departure from Radio 2 earlier this year. The radio presenter admitted that when she first accepted the main host role in 2019 she had some big shoes to fill as she was taking over from broadcasting legend Chris Evans. During a candid interview, Zoe explained that some popular presenters had recently left their jobs at the station in a huge shake-up due to what she described as cycles. It comes as Scott Mills and his co-host Chris Stark left their Radio 1 slot, with Scott moving to Radio 2 and will be the long-standing presenter, Steve's replacement. While Chris moved away from the BBC altogether to join global media company and host the Capital Breakfast Show with Roman Kemp. Last month, Steve presented his final Radio 2 afternoon show after being a channel staple for the last 23 years. Zoe explained, "I guess things come in cycles. It's like everything, people want to do stuff differently. I love Steve Wright, he has really looked after me, he's like a godfather, such a gorgeous man, but maybe he wants to do different things. I thought his final show of The Big Show was so masterfully done." Zoe continued, "But I also love Scott Mills and I think he's going to boss it. It's never easy taking over from a huge character like Steve." She added to Radio Times, "I had to do it after Chris Evans, and they are big shoes to fill. And Chris had to do that after Terry Wogan, who was a god. We're all creatures of comfort, aren't we? We don't always like change, but Scott will be amazing. And Steve has lots of adventures ahead." Meanwhile, Zoe bid farewell to the studios at BBC Radio Manchester in July. The radio star announced that it was her last day at her BBC Radio Manchester studio, before she returned to her regular studio at Wogan House in London. Zoe posted the videos of the sad-looking studio, in view of her 654,000 Instagram followers. The presenter said in the video, "So last day in BBC Radio Manchester. I'm going to miss it here. I've had such a lovely time and this morning I got treats from OJ." Zoe then showed the banana bread she had received from OJ Borg, the weekday overnight host on Radio 2. The wrapping featured a handwritten note that advised the treat had been baked with the help of a 3-year-old. You can read Zoe Ball's interview in this week's Radio Times, out now.